Before we get into today's video, I would like to give a shout out to some of our newest subscribers. And there are a lot of you right now. We have Felipe Aragao, Jason Johnson, Sean Hechter, Paul DeGenero, Leo Hall, and X Vader. Thank you for subscribing, and welcome to the family. And now, on with today's video. Hirsutism is a condition in women that results in excessive growth of dark or coarse hair in a male-like pattern on the face, chest, or back. With hirsutism, extra hair growth often arises from excess male hormones, androgens, primarily testosterone. So that explains the design choice for Mustache Girl. But doesn't really explain anything else about this character. Greetings, my dear viewers. I am Drahon, and welcome back to Dungeons & Dragons Character Conversion, where we take a look at characters from famous forms of media, whether that be television, video games, or books, and convert them into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition by taking an in-depth look at that character's lore and matching everything as closely as we can into Dungeons & Dragons. Today we are looking at A Hat in Time once again. This has actually been a request by, I believe, 2 of our viewers. One being Ag Silver Radio. And this video game is very, very weird. And in all honesty, I'm not really a fan of it due to its time manipulation theme. I really don't like time manipulation, for various different reasons, mostly paradoxical ones. But that is neither here nor there. Welcome to Nemesis Month, where we are converting basically any form of antagonistic character, whether that just be a villain, a rival, or just someone who gets in the protagonist's way, more often than not, and that's why we're doing Mustache Girl, in addition to it being a request. So how do we convert Mustache Girl into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition? Well, let's go ahead and find out. I'm going to start off simply with the stats. We're going to use the point-buy system, as we do for most of our builds. Strength will be a 14, as we are jumping a lot in this game. It is a platformer, after all. Dexterity is going to be a 15. She is actually really fast, even without help from the timepieces, which we will get to at the very end. Constitution's going to be a 12. Intelligence and Charisma are going to be a 9, our lowest stat, because, she doesn't seem to understand how dangerous time manipulation is, and she isn't that persuasive. She's a child, after all. Wisdom's going to be a 13, just because she does have some perception in her. Not that great of perception, but has some perception. She is a human. So that's going to be our race. It actually says so on the wiki that she is human, which will increase our stats by 1 point each. So strength goes up, dexterity goes up, constitution goes up, intelligence, charisma, and wisdom each go up by 1 point. We also get a speed of 30 feet and 2 languages of choice, common and 1 other. I would say undercommon? But I don't know exactly. Choose whatever you feel is necessary. For backgrounds, we're going to go with Urchin, just because that's the closest thing I feel matches with Mustache Girl. You'll get proficiencies in the skills of Sleight of Hand and Stealth, which actually makes sense, since she did steal the timepiece right under Hat Kid's nose, and right out of their pocket. Tools of the Disguise Kit, and you're supposed to get Thieves' Tools as a proficiency, but I would recommend changing that out for Weaver's Tools, since you are helping out Hat Kid with making new hats for most of the game. You also get the feature City Secrets, which is definitely something that Mustache Girl has. She knows her way around Mafia Town and her island, so it makes sense to have these feature. Now to go ahead and start off with the class, we're going to start things off with Rogue, and we're going to stay Rogue for a majority of this video. And you'll see why, and you probably already know why if you've played A Hat in Time. You're a thief for a majority of this game until you steal the timepiece from Hat Kid and collect a lot of timepieces from Mafia Town and the surrounding island. So, yeah, we will get into those timepieces, don't worry. You get a 1d6 hit die, and your starting hit points is 6 plus your Constitution modifier, which is only a +1 at this time, unfortunately, but not to worry, that's still a good amount of hit points. Your proficiencies are in Light Armor, Thieves' Tools, saving throws are Dexterity and Intelligence, and you get 4 skills. Acrobatics, Athletics, Deception, and Persuasion are doable. Expertise in Sleight of Hand and Stealth, of course, because you are a sneaky little mustache girl. You also get your Sneak Attack on Thieves' Cart, which actually makes sense, especially since your town got overrun by the Mafia. Level 2 Rogues get Cunning Action, of course. Level 3 Rogue, we get the Roguish Archetype, Thief. You get Fast Hands and Second Story Work, as well as Steady Aim for just being a 3rd level rogue. Level 4 Rogues get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and round off your Strength and your Constitution, which will now update your hit points to being 6 plus 2, on top of the ability score, on top of the hit point increases that you get for leveling up. Level 5 Rogues get Uncanny Dodge. Level 6 Rogues get more Expertise. Go with Athletics and Acrobatics. We are working with a platforming game after all, so we kind of need these in order to progress. Level 7 Rogues get Evasion, which is really good for when you are trying to dodge bombs and other area of effect damages. Level 8 Rogues get a Dexterity increase for our ability score choice, making it a solid 18. Level 9 Rogues get Supreme Sneak. We now have advantages on our stealth checks when we move at half our speed. So very good. Level 10 Rogues get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and max out your Dexterity to a 20 for this build. Level 11 Rogues get Reliable Talent. Now our minimum is going to be an 11 on most of our skill checks. Level 12 Rogues get an ability score improvement. Go ahead and increase your Strength by 2 points. Level 13 Rogues from the Roguish Archetype Thief get Use Magic Device. You ignore any prerequisites needed to use a magic item, whether that be race, class, level, or so on. So, you're able to use the timepieces now. Fantastic. Level 14 Rogue get Blind Sense, and this is actually the last level we're going to be picking for our Rogue. It is now time to multi-class. And we are multi-classing into Cleric, since this is the closest thing I can think of for using the timepieces. You're technically not serving a god, and you're not serving an individual being that you made a pact with, which was originally going to go for the Warlock. But I felt that Cleric was a better fit, since there's even a canonical Cleric within Dungeons & Dragons that doesn't serve a god, but serves an ideal. And, well, Kobold Press does have a divine domain of time in their book, Deep Magic. So if you have that book, I would recommend looking this up. You technically don't need to multi-class in the Cleric, but it does help with getting those timepiece powers. So you get your D8 hit die, and you also get more proficiencies in medium armor and shields. You also get spell casting, which uses your wisdom modifier, and you also have ritual casting now. Your divine domain of time gives you domain spells of Featherfall and Auspicious Warning, which comes from Kobold Press as well. You also get Persistent Glimpses, which gives you the proficiencies of, I think it was Perception and Insight. And you automatically get expertise on that as well. So that's pretty good. Cleric level 2 gets Divine... Channel Divinity, my mistake. Turn Undead, and thanks to your Time Domain Cleric, the Time Shift Channel Divinity. Level 3 Cleric gets more domain spells, Gentle Repose, and Decelerate from Kobold Press. At level 4 Cleric, we're going to go with a feat. Go with the Alert feat. This will give you a +5 to your initiative roll, making you much, much faster. For Cleric level 5, you get Destroy Undead. You'll be able to destroy undead of CR1 or lower. And you also get more domain spells, Haste and Slow. And finally, with level 6, we get another Channel Divinity for our Cleric, the Group Time Shift. Now, this is the end of the build, but not the end of the video, as we do have some spells to go over. Here's the spells that I would recommend for your Mustache Girl. Cantrips are going to be Guidance, Sacred Flame, Toll the Dead, and a Word of Radiance. First level spells we have Bless, Command, Guiding Bolt, and Shield of Faith. That Guiding Bolt is the closest we're going to be getting to that beam that we have on our final boss fight of Mustache Girl versus Hat Kid. Second level, we have Spiritual Weapon and Zone of Truth. We also have third level spells of Glyph of Warding and Spirit Guardians. I tried to get as close as possible to some of the time powers that we have access to in our boss fight as Mustache Girl. And I think I got pretty darn close. What did you all think? Did you enjoy this video? What are some other nemesises that can be converted into Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition? Let me know in the comment section below, and until next time, this has been Drehan, and I am offline.